You can never work it out. Like,
I think as well because everything's so down, isn't it? Dowdy, when you look at the news and everything that's going on.
I try not to look at them as if I possibly can.
Well, you're right. You're right not to.
Ready?
I am definitely ready. Yeah.
When do you want the music on then?
After you introduce me, and then we'll put it on just low, so it's a slight background piece. Will be good.
If I'm not one over, we'll all go over.
That's fine. Yeah. Endurable. Very good.
Good afternoon, everybody. How wonderful to see so many people. I'm so glad it's raining all summer. Lovely to see you all here with us today. As you're all aware, this is our Healing Hour Wednesday. First Wednesday of the month, we always have this wonderful man come in and share different thoughts, different ideas on different modalities concerning healing. I'm not even going to guess what you're doing today because I trust you.
Slight
and
giveaway, isn't it?
A bit of a giveaway. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the afternoon consists of Kevin will give a talk for between 20 minutes, half an hour. Always an interactive talk, always chance for questions and answers. Seriously, no question is daft if you don't know the answer.
Yep.
And nobody got anywhere without asking questions. So don't think I can't ask that because I'll look stupid, because seriously, you won't. All right? That's it. That's all I'm needed for today.
Thank you very much, Lawrence.
Lightly
Thank
today
you.
with these.
Once again, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming along on a beautiful day as it is outside. I want to share with you today something that was given to me while I was working in the temples out in Cambodia. So it's called Working with Buddhas. I know it's somewhat different from what we normally work with, but I'll try and run you through it as quickly as I possibly can in the time we got. Working with Buddhas is a different way of working. Most of us are trained to work with guides, and that's the way we work in this country. Out in the Orient, everything is done through the Buddha, so the Buddha is their main guide. Every family out in that part of the world will have a family shrine. Within their house, they'll have a statue of a Buddha, and they'll have an incense burner. And everything, prayers and wishes and asking for healing, etc., is done through the Buddha. It's lighting the joss stick that gives off the white smoke. It's the white smoke that actually takes that message up to the spirit realm. Working with Buddhas is given in quite a few different ways. The main way I've been taught to work with a Buddha is actually looking at a Buddha and understanding the Buddha. So that connection to the Buddha is a connection to the spirit realm, but it's also a connection to you. First of all, the first thing we train to do when we work with Buddhas is self-work. By concentrating, looking and studying and letting the Buddha come through to you, it should give you an inner peace. Inner peace is being relaxed and being calm and being at one with yourself. It also should aggravate chakra points, which we work with, energy points throughout our body. So it's healing with it as well. I know we haven't got a long time here today, but we'll actually try and crack on very quickly. And if I can just ask people to come up, take a incense stick, light it from the candle, and just place it in the pot of sand. And that is your first activation. That is your communication. That is like, it's like picking up the telephone. It's like sending that message up to the spirit realm, and what we're connecting with is the Buddha. So it's sending a message to the Buddha that we're gathered, we're here ready to work, we're here ready to receive, we're here to make a connection. That's good, they'll carry on going, yep. This is a very traditional way of working. It is the starting and actually making that spiritual connection. It's opening the doorways to the spirit realm. You're offering something to the spirit realm first of all, in the way of the incense or the white smoke.
Do you have to set an intention?
We're going to try and set the intentions in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Brilliant. Good question. Let's say our intent in a minute is going to be to actually spend a little bit of time just sitting relaxing, knowing that we're trying to connect to the Buddha and seeing it's what we can actually achieve inner peace. And it's by achieving your inner peace, your relaxation, that is the first step to actually go further. To me, any time I do this, the minute I pick up that incense stick and light it, it's that feeling I know I'm making that connection. I'm making that link between the earth plane and the spirit realm. I say this way we're purely working through the Buddha. The Buddha is our connection that opens up all the different doorways thereafter, rather than trying to work with, as we traditionally work with, our guides. Could we have the music just a little bit?
Yeah. Cutting over you when you were talking.
I was hoping I'll be able to talk above it if it's just on. Thank you. So by doing a ceremony like this, we're actually sending a message to the spirit realm, and that is in the white smoke going up. So anything we perhaps put into that intention was in the white smoke. So what we're trying to actually achieve is something called inner peace. So if you just got yourself nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed for a moment, if you want to close your eyes, by all means do so. And it's allowing that connection to the Buddha, that pathway, to bring us that inner peace first of all. So the inner peace is about being at one with ourselves. It's the healing time as well. If we can achieve inner peace, we can realign our bodies. I said through the chakras. So if any chakras are out of balance, finding inner peace brings all that back into that wholeness, that one. haven't got a long time to explore this much further today. Unfortunately, it's only a short taster session. So, thank you for actually doing that. We probably didn't have a very long time to try and actually concentrate much further. Normally we do this for quite a lot longer, but hopefully it got somewhere with you. In actually concentrating and looking at the Buddha, looking at the Buddhist way of working, I asked people just to share quickly. Did you find it made a difference to you, first of all? So you managed to find some extra relaxation that came in from Buddhas. Sorry, is the smoke affecting? No? Okay. I'm quite used to it, so I'll stand right in front of it, I don't mind. Up here get wafted in it, but other people, did they find that it made some sort of difference to a way of working? That is traditional of the Buddhists from the temples, yeah. It just puts a nice relaxation into it. Any music always assists us in what we're trying to do. In meditation work, some sort of meditation music helps us actually overcome all the things that rush around in our head most of the time. So this is mainly about self-work. It's about self-improvement. If every now and again you can actually find somewhere where you can actually concentrate, and you don't have to have a Buddha. You know what a visual image of a Buddha is. Connecting to a Buddha actually brings in a relaxation and inner peace. If you've had a hectic day, then spending a little bit of time thereafter, just actually relaxing and finding your inner peace is very important. It helps us in so many different ways. Moving on slightly now. I know most people have probably actually had some sort of connection with the Buddha in the past. And most of us know by actually touching or holding the Buddha, it brings good luck. So I want to bring you all good luck. Come and pick up a Buddha. So on all Buddhas, holding the Buddha or rubbing the Buddha is supposed to actually bring good luck. But good luck is carried in many forms. How do we want that good luck to work? It's more of a spiritual good luck than a financial good luck. It's bringing in improvements in our health, improvements in our well-being, improvements in how we communicate with spirit. There is something about working with Buddhas that is different from our normal way of working. We're all concentrated on one way of connecting to the spirit realm. Not all using different separate guides, but all using that Buddha. By holding or working with the Buddha, our next aim is to reach spiritual enlightenment. Spiritual enlightenment is actually opening ourselves up to be able to work with the spirit realm. If we can open ourselves up working via the Buddha to working with the spirit realm, it's something we don't normally work with in other forms of spiritualism. So if we can take this on board, we can actually open up in other aspects of our spiritual work, because it was all going to work very similar, very the same. It's how we actually open up to work with spirit, how we get rid of all the barriers we naturally put up. Once again, I just invite you to relax again a minute, close your eyes, and we're trying to actually see if we can actually achieve spiritual enlightenment. As we work to achieve spiritual enlightenment for ourselves, now is a good time to actually put any thoughts out to Buddha, any messages you want to send. And we're just using Buddha as the communication point. So sending whatever we want or whatever our requests are up to the Buddha can then pass that on to wherever it's needed. So by rights, this should have been a 2.5-hour workshop. I know I've run you through it pretty quickly, but hopefully you've got some knowledge now. You've got a different way of working. It might not be something you use on a regular basis. It's good to have an understanding on how different spiritual cultures connect and work. And is any of that what I've just presented to you, a way you feel you can work with it? That's your choices. It is just a quicker connection sometimes to working with spirit. Rather than just waiting for guides and etc. to come through, you're just working on one element, the Buddha. And sending that message or that request to the Buddha then decides how to spread that, and where to pass it on to, and what the connection is. In the Far East, they all work in this way through the Buddha, and it will connect in so many different ways. It is about your spiritual health, your physical health, your well-being, the way you work, the way you communicate with spirit, the way you ask for good wishes, the good luck that you want to be presented with. But it should be about that connection to spirit, and how do you feel? How did that spiritual enlightenment connect to you? So I ask you all to come back and open your eyes again. I know I rushed that through somewhat briskly. Hopefully it worked. Who felt there was a difference in how they feel, how they thought, and and their connection to spirit in the time they were holding the Buddha and trying to reach spiritual enlightenment. Please, would you like to share with us? Sometimes it's hard to put into words. I do appreciate it. If you've got a different sensation, then all I can say is take that as a confirmation. It's yet another tool you've been given. You know, it's not a tool that's going to replace anything. It's just an addition to all the other tools we gather. And it's another tool to work with. So thank you very much. Somebody else? Please, gentleman at the back there.
Versus having my eyes shut. I just said, I am love, I am free, I am. Except I just felt it saw light go into me. I feel this immense feeling of relief, peace, tranquility, and healing.
That's brilliant. That's what we're trying to achieve. In the times we spent studying and working in the temples, it totally amazed me how all the monks and the people working with this temple have got this broad grin on their face and are so jolly all the day. How can you be jolly from 5 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night? I know I peter out quite quickly and etc. But their way of working fills them with excitement and warmth and a joy to actually pass their knowledge on. Which all I can say was thank you very much, but wow. I think, please, you had something you want to share?
Yeah, with pervading stillness.
It is about being, to achieve that stillness. Once again, I know a lot of time when we meditate, a lot of people say their brain is so busy and confused, they find it hard to actually spend that time or to achieve that because other things keep on kicking in. When we're focused on working with the Buddha, it seems to cut away all that side effects. We can go straight into actually reaching the state of mind we're wishing to achieve. Thank you. So, anyone else would like to share anything with us, please?
I went into relaxation and then just people I know who need healing popped into mind.
Yes.
And so I asked for healing for that person. Then I'd go back into relaxation and it kept happening. It's almost as if
Yeah. It's a different way of working, as I say. I find it's a quicker way of working. For most people I share this with, they find it's a quicker way of communication. And once you communicate via the Buddha is actually sending you ideas back that perhaps you should be working with, i.e. the healing list, etc. Please.
It's also reminded me I've got a standing Buddha at home that's holding a platter, and I put a gift on there where's a crystal or rice or something to say thank you to all of spirit.
Yes.
You know, in its broadest sense, or God, if you like. And it's reminded me I've not done that for a little while, and I think,
We all need that reminder every now and again. Certain things we learn along that pathway, we put them to one side, which we need to, because we need to pick up new things. But we forget sometimes that some of those things we need to re-explore every now and again. So thank you for that. Once again, open questions. Anyone?
Yeah, where can I get that music?
Probably online. It's Buddhist chill outs.
Buddhist chill outs?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quite a popular CD, but there's other Buddhist chant ones, etc., which will take you to the same place. So thank you. Anyone else got anything they wish to ask?
So you were talking before about the female Buddha and the males. Is it just what you're drawn to? Is it whatever you feel resonates with you rather than
It's-
because you're a male or
Different temples are dedicated to different Buddhas. So it's a slight offshoot of part of the Buddhist main teaching. So each temple is dedicated to a different type of Buddha. I don't feel it makes any difference whatsoever, personally. If you go into a female Buddha temple, the energy, the feeling is exactly the same as going into the male Buddha temple. It's just a different in slight connections to how they see the Buddha evolved. Sorry, I'm not answering that to the best I can, but
yeah, because I've
there's a
seen
lot I don't.
a female Buddha in lots of different places on people's patios and
Yes.
on pictures more than I've seen the male on, especially this one looks like he's holding a Mexican hat or something. You know, I mean, I haven't seen anything that it doesn't look that spiritual when you look at it, does it?
It's what we've been taught before. It's re-looking at what we've learnt so far. And if you re-look at something and re-exploring a different culture's way of working with spirit, yeah, some of it may be a little bit like unsure first of all, but time and perseverance, I'm afraid, it will actually have a connection, because out in the Far East, that's the only way they work. And if they can all work spiritual connections through the Buddha, why can't we?
Is that, I'm looking at Linda there, is that part of bringing the ordinary everyday life into it as well, so that it's not something that's remote, it's actually here with us all the time, it's just making that
It is here with us, and I know most of you know most of what I do is shamanic connections. And I would say working with the Buddha is perhaps more shamanic than it is spiritual. And also in the Buddhist connection, everything has spirit. It's not only the humanoid, it's the animals, it's the plants and the trees out there. It's the earth has a spirit. The lovely rain we're given today has got a spirit. So those clouds have all got spirit. The air we breathe has got a spirit. That fire in the sky, which we call the sun, it's got a spirit. So their way of working is very much to my shamanic way of understanding. Earth, air, fire and water. They've all got spirit. And we need all of those for us to exist. Without any of those elements, we can't actually be what we are. So every now and again it's recognising what is there and how do we feel about actually just saying thank you to that spirit. Well, so I do appreciate everything I normally teach is quite outside the normal bounds of what you're normally given. So that's what I love to do. Stretch you as far as I possibly can and see how you take it. Got time for perhaps a last question, I'm afraid. If anyone's got anything, or anything I didn't cover properly, or anything you're not quite sure of what I try to cover here today. Please.
You say this would normally be a 2.5-hour workshop.
Yeah.
Could I get on a 2.5-hour workshop? Do you do them?
Not often. It's something that I do very, very seldom. It's just I only brought that in to understand that I've taken you through it so quickly. Most of it is stuff you can explore yourself. I'll give you the basics. I'll give you 90% of what you need to know. Although I've rushed it through, if you in your own time can just think about what I presented to you and break it down into longer modules, i.e. the longer time you spent meditating or looking at the Buddha to create inner peace, say normally that would be half an hour plus, the longer you can actually spend understanding that the incense is the communication, working through the Buddha, and our spiritual enlightenment is what we're all trying to achieve. To be better people spiritually, and to be able to make a spiritual connection. And with everything, unfortunately, we do, it's all about putting in the time, which I know is not always easy. Unfortunately, it's whenever we can squeeze anything into a day, where we can put in time to try and actually study spiritually or connect spiritually, helps our development. And it's all about spiritual development.
Where you were talking about before, where everything's got to spirit, the tree, the sky, the air, the water, the earth, etc. Would you say that that can also be perceived as God? Everybody has their own understanding of God, or consciousness, and that's part of the wholeness of all that is that we're all connected to.
Short answer to that is yes.
Okay.
I'm not going to get too much into particular gods, etc., but it always strikes me as fascinating that we all have religious beliefs, and all our religious beliefs, no matter where you take them from, whichever part, are near enough identical. Our rules, our workings, our way of being with life and how we treat each other, our religious belief tells us the same in every one of them. Our religious belief tells us there's a greater spirit up in heaven, or in spirit land, whichever you like to refer to it. It's a great question of debate, and perhaps it's one, I don't know, perhaps I should and shouldn't actually work into. Is it still that one person? Has that one person decided to come through to different cultures as something they can more connect with and more recognise? So I leave you to actually look at that one and understand that one. From all the different religious beliefs, we have one head of that belief, one God. But the understandings and workings, how we should be and how we should treat each other, is very much similar. As that God just presented himself to that people in a format that they can connect with, rather than a format that was alien to them. It's really controversial, so please
It might be
bear
the-
with me on that one.
Sorry, it might be the other way around, where people add the energy of the thought form and everything like that, and they create a collective perception of God for that particular community.
In a way, it is a collective perception.
Part of the whole.
We all agree that there's something greater up there than just us. There's something to be communicated and worked with.
I go forward with the same where God comes to the person's level of understanding. The only thing that differs is the understanding or the expression.
You're all saying things that I can totally agree with, and once again, unfortunately there's more questions than there are answers on some of that. It's not something I can actually answer any of those. It's down to your individual way of working and belief. Once again, thank you all for working with me today. I'm afraid we've run out of the time we got allotted to us, and well done for fitting in a 2.5 hour workshop in just over half an hour.
Thank you, Kevin.
Please can I have the buttons back?
Brilliant.
I'll be up here for a while. If anyone's got any other questions, please come and see me.
$9.49 on Amazon. I've sent you the link.
Well done, thank you very much, Lawrence.
All right, okay. You haven't bought it for me.
So, Kevin, thank you. Absolutely lovely. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And thank you all for joining in and being part of that. You know, we're in this world now where we want to talk about things. We don't want to be sat there and lectured at anymore. We want to be able to engage with the debate. So, perfect. Perfect.
Thank you very much.
We are repeating this with another gentleman tonight. We have the lovely David Powell with us, CSNU, and he'll be talking about healing within spiritualism and the different modalities. That's at 7 o'clock tonight, doors open 6:30. For now, though, we will be handing over to the church registered healers. I'm sorry, I'm really going to have to move away because I even though I smoke, that smoke just really irritates. We're going to hand over to the church registered healers now to dispense healing. So thank you, everybody, and thank you yet again, Kevin.
Pleasure.
Next time you're around, I'm going to bring a chicken down and hang it from the ceiling.
Well done. Oh, working with chickens is quite a different one.
No, that's all that's
Can we bring the old goat in as well and do it properly?